lit like hard steel in his eyes. The gout of destruction, with windbreaker red, stood over a student who shuddered with dread. The lit like hard steel in his eyes he turned. Back to geometry tests, he then said, and returned to his desk as his excess rage burned. I trembled inside, but I could not resist. For those who objected to be put on his list, cast down into long purgatorial pain. My doom could be sealed with a flick of his wrist, so I sat at my desk and I did not complain. Shadows cavorted upon the back wall, the shadows of students who wandered the hall to a false destination through labor of days, until one capitulates, quits, and/or falls, lost on an endless quest, left in the maze. Mechanical pencils, quick left and quick right, behind me as well, with all out of my sight. Shiva's round glasses shield us from his glance, deflecting the fire, the smoldering mind that could turn us to smoke if he looked up by chance. What follows is hearsay, for people here say that a long epic battle was fought on that day. A battle for order against with one foe, whose actions would drastically alter my ways. A battle that put on a jolly good show. The trouble began when a small bee trespassed on the god's property, a geometry class, whose restless inhabitants craved an escape from the study of density, volume, and mass, in a building whose vents weren't in very good shape. The temperature rose and excitement did mount, when from the south corner arose a loud frown of people exclaiming, "A bee! Look, a bee!" For most it relieved them of learning to count, but I didn't care. Bees meant nothing to me. The rest of them, though, soon adopted the cry. "A bee in the room! Look, a bug! It's a fly!" So annoying, in fact, that great Shiva himself clambered up from his chair with a small-tired sigh, and left and rolled up a magazine left on his shelf. He stealthily stalked the insect as it flew, from ceiling to floor until nobody knew or could anticipate where the bee would land next, on the wall or the floor, or off into the blue, on an unlucky head or a geometry text. But the bee remained still, well affixed to the roof, as if against dailies of shields proof, a bubble of safety, a save from the wrath of Shiva. I watched staying outward aloof, but the campaign was still far more gripping than now. Slowly crept Shiva towards the bee's high position, intent on his perilous, dangerous proposition. Strike him with venom at the small, hapless bug. But alas, his first plan did not come to fruition, for the insect tactically dove for the rug. God. Shiva stood up with a lump in his throat. His face was enraged and as red as his coat. He pulled back his arm to bring down an assault on the cowering bee that was soon to be smote. While the same little voice in his head made him halt. He lowered his arm to his silence again, stroking his chin with an expression of zen. Enlightenment dawned on his fiery mug, inspiring the god, the destroyer of men, to unroll the paper and scoop up the bug. He carried his charge through the wide open door, and tossing it up, let the small insect soar off into the blue to its old native hive, thinking he'd see the small fiend nevermore, as the bee should be grateful that he left it alive. That wasn't, however, the end of the case. For when the bee left, a swarm took its place. Attracted by sweetness, they entered in streams and proceeded to give all the puzzled kids chase, eliciting panic and pitiful screams. Shiva, alarmed by the frightening noise, reacted with speed, with purpose and poise. He whipped off his glasses, his eyes blazed with fire, his power is shield for the girls and the boys, repulsing the bees with the flames of his ire. The battle was heated, the carpet was burned, the combatants were tough, the tide couldn't be turned, but somehow the queen bee broke through the barrage, and her drones followed suit on the route she had learned, and thus entered the queen and her whole entourage. They readied their stingers, we readied for death. We prayed and recited some old Shiva myths. But quickly the bee whose life Shiva had spared, made to stand twixt us two, and though all out of breath, stood firm in our defense and loudly declared, "Enough, my dear queen! You must call up these bees. Are our ranks not depleted enough by disease?
by bears with long claws, by the cold winter's chill. They will fall as they strike. Think logically, please. Can you cause all this death and live with yourself still? The queen hesitated. The bee carried on. You are the ruler. We all are but pawns. The one with the fire in his eyes spared my life. Not all humans are bad. Not all people do wrong. If you see it this way, you can save so much strife. The queen reconsidered her thorny attack and decided to take all her deadly troops back. So she recalled the drones with a sense in the thump. They left behind all of our sugary snacks and delivered not even a Parthian shell. The young bee, our savior, was last to egress, so before she left she yelled, "Remember this mess! Treat us with kindness and we'll do the same. But if you cause bees any further distress, we'll be back to avenge them, and we won't be as tame." She shut the door slowly, and we sighed with relief. The students were glad that we'd not come to grief. Shiva, however, looked mildly hurt. We're all alive, so we asked, "What's the beef?" He looked at us balefully and said, "What are you waiting for? Get back to work."